just because she's made a certain life choice does not suddenly like devalue whatever her worth in any sphere of her life. And I just wish that more people out there would recognize that, people go through seasons and phases, and a lot of family structures, etc., have changed, but society has not sort of caught up to those structures. I think we have certain biases around women in the workplace, right? Irrespective of what the woman's doing in her life. It's like you have a kid, you're damned. If you don't have a kid, you're damned. It's like, people judge. So I think one of those things that I am sort of very passionate about and a very vocal advocate is that I think women, should have the freedom and the advocacy to choose whatever makes sense for them in their lives, but also beyond a point, like people should just not make assumptions about them, show up for them the way they would show up for any other sort of colleague, right? Like, just because she's made a certain life choice does not suddenly like devalue whatever her worth in any sphere of her life. And I just wish that more people out there would recognize that, people go through seasons and phases, and continue to sort of sponsor women. It's one of those things I read where a lot of women are over-mentored, under-sponsored. And so that's my big thing, where I think a lot of times people look at women, and especially early in your career, you're labeled very high potential, but then a lot of women, biology happens or they make a life choice and they're away from the workforce, even for a brief period, which is a maternity leave, which in a career of like decades, like a couple of months should not impact, but suddenly they're like thrown off a track. And so maybe that's the only thought I'd leave with is to, everybody who sort of listens to your podcast and, who are leaders or future leaders, is to just step back and say, how do we support individuals through like all aspects of their life and life stages, versus put labels on people very quickly, and then the minute they make a slightly different choice, like rip that label apart and like push them to the side.